They didn't yell at my boss. They didn't threaten him. They did something worse. They smiled, lied, and told him he couldn't prove anything. Years later, when they handed him a pen and rushed him to sign, they didn't realize they were handing him the weapon he'd been waiting to use. Let me tell you about Barry. Barry wasn't dramatic. He wasn't emotional. Barry was dangerous in a way arrogant people never recognize. He listened. And he remembered. Years ago, Barry did a job for a construction company I'll call Big Daddy Construction. It wasn't a massive project. Just a few $1,000s. But when it came time to pay, Big Daddy denied promises they had made. Verbal agreements suddenly never happened. Barry tried to resolve it like an adult. He spoke to a lawyer. And the lawyer gave him the answer nobody wants to hear. You might win, but it'll cost more than it's worth. When Barry confronted Big Daddy, their response was smug and cruel. My lawyer can beat up your lawyer. I still remember Barry's expression when he told us that story. No anger. No shouting. Just quiet disappointment. And one question that would change everything. What should I have done differently? Years later, Big Daddy was building a high-end restaurant. Fancy decor. Prestige location. Big money investors. The place was called Fancy Ass. They needed door hardware, locks, closers, and 3 automatic door operators. Barry submitted a bid. Barry won. And the moment the contract was signed, Barry called a meeting. He stood there calmly and said, "This job is mine. All communication goes through me. Nobody gives out my cell number. Nobody answers questions. Nobody helps." Then he paused. If Big Daddy calls you to talk about the weather, you transfer the call. And finally, break this rule, and you're gone. Immediately. I remember thinking it was extreme. I didn't understand yet. Big Daddy's son ran the site. We called him GC. A walking anger problem. Profanity instead of leadership. Shortcuts instead of planning. He yelled at electricians. Threatened subcontractors. And never read what he signed. That would become his fatal flaw. We installed the door operators. But there was no power. No dedicated electricity. No wiring for the buttons. Because per the bid, Big Daddy was responsible for that. Barry told GC. GC waved him off. GC signed the paperwork anyway. Buried inside that paperwork? A quiet sentence. Big Daddy assumes full responsibility for code compliance. GC didn't read it. He never did. 2 weeks before the grand opening, GC called Barry screaming. The doors didn't work. No working doors equals no occupancy permit. Barry showed up calmly. There's no power. GC exploded. Electricians scrambled. Walls had to be opened. Ceilings destroyed. Emergency rates. Massive costs. Barry invoiced. And said nothing. Inspection failed. The washroom was too small. Instead of fixing it properly, GC reversed the door swing. Now it blocked servers. Created chaos. But it passed inspection. And required a brand new door operator. Barry invoiced again. GC signed again. Still didn't read. The entrance doors finally got power. But GC made one last shortcut. He tied the door operators into a heater circuit. Barry warned him. GC didn't care. Hook it up. Barry did. And had him sign. Again. That night, I watched Barry file the paperwork. He smiled. Just slightly. Because power spikes don't ask permission. And warranties don't forgive shortcuts. They begged him to fix it. He charged them $30,000 instead. The first door failed 2 days later. Then another. Then another. And every single time, they called the man they had tried to bully years before. What they didn't know. Every call was recorded. Power spikes fried the control boards. Warranty? Void. Barry explained calmly. GC screamed. Threatened lawsuits. Barry waited. Then said, I can fix it. But it's billable. GC agreed. Every time. A rebuilt board installed. $1,100 invoiced. Again. And again. And again. 27 times in 2 months. Nearly $30,000. Finally, Big Daddy himself called. Confused. Furious. Meeting scheduled. Lawyers present. Barry brought everything. Signed approvals. Warranty waivers. Call transcripts. And then, Barry slid across the table his final card. A contractor's lien. Fancy Ass wasn't just a restaurant. It was an investment machine. Celebrity chef. Elite investors. High-powered lawyers. Now, they couldn't sell. They couldn't refinance. And they were furious. Not at Barry. At Big Daddy. Barry withdrew service. And here's the kicker. He was the only authorized provider in the region. Manufacturer protected territory. Competitors warned off. Big Daddy was trapped. Barry would get paid. One way or another. Revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it whispers. It waits. And when arrogant people rush, cut corners, and refuse to read, it lets them destroy themselves. If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. Backhand index pointing right. Was this revenge justified? Or absolutely perfect? Because sometimes, the best revenge is letting people sign their own downfall.